フルパワースーパーサイヤ人の新しくないですか？これはスーパーサイヤ人グリーン。And what's going on, guys? It's your boy Uchi. We're back again once again here on the Uchi Games. And like I've been getting you guys ready for, we have a bunch of different topics in regards to the newest and latest and hottest thing going on in the world right now, Dragon Ball Super Broly. And as the title reads, Full Power Super Saiyan isn't new? Super Saiyan Green, or if I was in Japanese, Super Saiyajin Midori da. I don't know. That's just my terrible impression. But anyway, speaking of Japanese, my guest today is actually no stranger to the language of Nippon, and he is the reason why we're actually here today. Without this man's influence, without his idea, because I had a little suspicion, but he kind of like lit a fire under me, and now we're about to go in and talk about it in full detail. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to my man Bader. What's going on, Bader?
Hey everyone, it's good to be here on the channel. Thank you so much for bringing me here, Uchi. I'm pretty excited to start this video to have a discussion regarding this movie. This movie was absolutely incredible. Oh man, we have a lot to speak about, right? We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, lots and lots to talk about, and it's definitely a pleasure to have you on here as well. But you know, as the title says, this is about potentially a form that has been around ever since, you know, I guess, dare I say, the, you know, original Broly, because you know, that Broly, clearly his Super Saiyan had a little tint of green in his coloring, and you know, I feel like for the longest time, people, you know, just were quick to assume that, you know, it might have been like an exclusive color, like kind of similar to how Super Saiyan Rose is, you know, the equivalent of Super Saiyan Blue, but it's, you know, the Black Goku version. So, yeah, I mean, we're here to talk about it because apparently this actually might end up being something that is a lot more than just an exclusive color.
Yeah, I mean, during the movie, of course, there was this moment that we definitely saw where as Vegeta was battling Broly, the battle, by the way, was absolutely incredible. Vegeta battles Broly, and he starts to power up continuously throughout. Like, Broly starts to power up. He's starting to gain more energy. He's starting to become even stronger. So Vegeta tries to retaliate by becoming a Super Saiyan in return. So he knocks Broly back, and he lands on top of the mountain. And Vegeta starts to transform into this, starts to turn into a Super Saiyan, and you get to see this glimpse of this green hair emitting from his hair. It's just like this green color emitting, and it's just, it was shocking at first, because when you think about it, you're like, wow, is this an artistic choice, or is this just an Easter egg, or was this written in the light novel? Which I don't know if it was written in the light novel, because I haven't read it. I mean, I don't really speak that much Japanese. I don't read, but I do speak a little bit. So yeah, it was pretty surprising, because this is kind of like an explanation as to how the Super Saiyan form occurs. Like, if they start off with the green hair, then that's kind of a hint towards the original Super Saiyan transformation. In Dragon Ball Super episode 100, after Kale transforms into her Berserk state, Vegeta specifically mentions that might be the Saiyan's true form. Right. So when you look back into that and you see that green tint when Vegeta's transforming, you're like, yes, this is actually kind of true. This might be true. What Vegeta is saying is kind of true. So I would assume that Super Saiyan Full Power would possibly be what the original Super Saiyan looked like. This uncontrollable, crazy, angry Super Saiyan that, like, his power kept rising, which caused him to, die on the planet, which Vegeta mentioned during the Namek arc. So I would assume that Super Saiyan Full Power is truly the original Super Saiyan form, uncontrolled. But the Golden Hair Super Saiyan is when it is controlled, and that's basically my assumption. That's what I would assume.
Right. So so you bring a lot of really solid evidence and points and actual direct fact from, you know, the source material, obviously being the anime from Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. I remember when you pointed it out to me and it's funny because even before you pointed it out to me, I did remember, like a similar situation happening, in the Dragon Ball Super anime during the Tournament of Power when Kale was going berserk, and obviously she was I always called Kale, like, that is the test, like, to see if people were going to react and be like, oh my god, that's female Broly. And of course, that's the first thing everyone thought. But, that is when, Vegeta, he said, like, that might be the true form of a Super Saiyan. So, like, that's where we get our first hint. Now, fast forward to now, we're, watching this new Broly film, and this does take place, at a time after the Tournament of Power, so this is within the main story, and Broly is here, as he's fighting, he's he's getting washed, I might add. Like, Vegeta is really giving him the hands. Goku later then comes in and gives him the hand. But while it's, Vegeta versus Broly's really, getting a beating, but at the same time, he's adapting and he's learning, how to, I guess, just, like, hold his own weight against, like, a quote-unquote high-class warrior that is very experienced. Because, again, remember, Broly, this is the first time Broly has a real sparring partner, because up until this point, he's only been training against his father, Paragus, which Frieza even joked that is probably meaningless. Because, he's only as strong as he is. And since they were on the planet Vampa for so long, that they had no idea that Super Saiyan, was real, that it was, they thought, of course, Broly being as strong as he was, it's like he didn't even need, the Super Saiyan form. But of course, the discussion here starts with, that little glimpse, that tease that Vegeta had, a distinctive green color in his hair right before the usual gold color or yellow color, like, came to be. And I thought it was something definitely worth discussing in detail, like I've been saying. And, I definitely had to have you on here because, you definitely brought it to my attention. So, going from this, I also want to point out that this is not even the last time we're seeing this little tease, because if we fast forward the film a little bit, we even see Goku when he has his I'm going to call it an iconic scene, because I got to tell you, Sean Schemmel did a really great job doing this section. He had a freaking amazing scream, and he went nuts, and you even see a line of green aura around him for a second. So it's like they're almost teasing that the potential of the future Dragon Ball Super might actually lead them, and by them I'm meaning, Goku and Vegeta. They might try to obtain this full power, this fully fledged version of Super Saiyan that Broly has had, and he, obviously he awoke in it himself later on in the film once he actually finally did power up to Super Saiyan, because he was fighting them in base form, he was fighting them in the Ozaru form, and not like legitimately Ozaru, of course, obviously. It's referenced, it's referenced in the movie. Paragus explains it further. But then finally, once he unlocks his Super Saiyan, he is straight Super Saiyan full power. So, like Vegeta said, this potentially might actually be the true form of what a Super Saiyan is supposed to be. So it's like for all this time, we always thought that, yellow gold was the Super Saiyan, but apparently it might not be.
Yeah. And I mean, to go back to the scene where Goku does, he ends up getting completely wrecked as Super Saiyan God because Broly's continuing as he's battling.
Exactly.
So as soon as Goku starts to speak telepathically to Piccolo, he just absolutely activates Super Saiyan Blue. And I think, I mean, I know this is an artistic standpoint, but it's also an Easter egg from the animators. I bet it was an Easter egg. I mean, as I said before, we never know if this was actually mentioned in the light novel, but the green aura kind of really emphasizes this sort of release of energy, this this leakage of energy that Goku's struggling to kind of control in order for him to unleash Super Saiyan Blue.
Right.
Because there's this part in the manga. I know the manga is not related to the anime at all. I mean, they are sort of related in a way, but somehow, some way, they have their different. Super Saiyan Blue requires proper ki control. To the scene where Goku starts to transform to Super Saiyan Blue. Of course, he gets completely demolished by Broly as Broly's continuously evolving. He activates his wrathful form and starts to demolish Goku. Goku speaks telepathically to Piccolo. Piccolo's kind of concerned because Goku's facing a new, adversary, somebody that's completely dangerous. It's Broly. So Goku kind of wants to execute full force against Broly by using Super Saiyan Blue, and they really did Super Saiyan Blue justice in here, because I mean, during the times of the anime, Super Saiyan Blue was treated as this normal Super Saiyan that would just get whacked left and right. But this Super Saiyan Blue and Dragon Ball Super Broly somehow feels more similar to the manga version of Dragon Ball Super, where Super Saiyan Blue is just on a whole other level. So back to the topic at hand, when we're talking about the green aura. Now, I know this is probably going to be an artistic standpoint, but at the same exact time, it could possibly be an Easter egg, just like the Mastered Ultra Instinct scene, which I would assume is just an Easter egg. I mean, I bet it's not really Ultra Instinct. It's just a hint at it.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, it was just a normal Easter egg, because it's not even mentioned in the light novel apparently. So yeah, but when we're talking about the green tint, so when Goku starts transforming into Super Saiyan Blue, you can see him just completely struggling, going completely insane, just screaming his lungs out, which we've never seen before in the entire Dragon Ball Super. A normal scream and just glowing everywhere, and that's basically it. Actually screaming his lungs out. And you can see this green aura just completely flowing out of his body. And I would assume this is somehow related to the aspect of ki control. There's this episode in Dragon Ball Super in the Resurrection F arc, and I apologize for not referencing the episode, but in Resurrection F, like post Battle of Gods, when it kind of leads to Resurrection F, Goku and Vegeta are both training with Whis, and Whis starts to explain that they both need to control their keys. Their keys cannot be leaked. And what they do to train and kind of achieve that point where they don't leak keys in this alternate dimension that Whis transports Goku and Vegeta to, which I would assume is the area where they've both, or otherwise if you call it Super Saiyan Blue.
Right.
So it's all about proper ki control. So when we're going back to the original Super Saiyan didn't have proper ki control, just completely going absolutely crazy, demolishing everything, and eventually dying from the amount of power. So I would think that Goku was struggling to kind of control his ki to activate Super Saiyan Blue
at this point, and
managed to use that. Yeah.
Right. So
I think that kind of gives you a hint towards what the original Super Saiyan is like, just like this fury, like this uncontrollable energy. So that's basically what it is. But I believe Goku and Vegeta have both completely mastered the Super Saiyan forms post the Android arc, which, kind of indicates they both have golden hair. So I would think that without proper ki control, the original Super Saiyan form would somehow be Super Saiyan full power. I think that's what it would be, because there's ki leakage. Broly was absolutely uncontrolled. Kale was absolutely uncontrolled, just pure rage. They had no idea what a Super Saiyan was, and just burst out lots of energy, and they're just crazy. So I would assume without proper ki control, that would be the original Super Saiyan transformation. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's definitely, even though it was like an Easter egg, I thought that it was it would definitely had enough weight to hold its own for like a discussion like this. So yeah, I mean, looking forward, potentially seeing when and if they decide, because I am sure Broly will be back again once again at some point.
Definitely.
And I'm also like almost inclined to believe and think that, what if, during these training sessions that Goku, wants to have with Broly, that, because remember, I also have to reference this. Saiyans are very adaptive. Like, they can, like, you know, within this fight, Broly literally was learning as he was going. So even when he was within Goku's technique that made him, you know, freeze, and Goku was holding him in place when he was Super Saiyan God form, Broly reversed it and did it right back to him. So
yeah, that part was absolutely.
Oh, let me tell you something.
Shocking.
The theater popped off.
Yeah, it was absolutely shocking.
Yeah, but you know, that part was amazing, and I'm just wondering, like, you know, this movie was a really good reminder at how Saiyans are, you know, they grow with strength the more they fight, as they continue to fight, and you know, they can surprise us. So I'm almost wondering, like, even with Goku saying and confirming that he, you know, he wants to teach Broly a few things, and I would imagine, like, control power a lot better. I'm almost inclined to imagine, like, Goku would also, you know, learn from Broly how to even maybe tap into becoming a full-powered Super Saiyan.
I would say it's highly unlikely because, first of all, as full-power Super Saiyan, the muscle mass is absolutely crazy. You become enormous. Your muscles are weighing you down. You get slower. As you can see, there was this battle with Gogeta and Broly in the movie, and I know it's completely one-sided, but Gogeta was absolutely fast. He was so fast. It was, if Goku were to achieve Super Saiyan full power, which I'm sure most of the Super Saiyans that we see in Dragon Ball can achieve because they have access to Super Saiyan. I would say that it would not be possible because Goku would not rely on that. He would mainly rely on his God forms. Or might I say he would rely on Super Saiyan 3 more than Super Saiyan full power, because Super Saiyan 3 is way faster. Super Saiyan full power is just this hulking, huge, crazy, berserk, you know, Super Saiyan. And if Goku were to do it, he would know how to control it in a way, but at the same exact time, if he controlled it, he would just revert back to his golden Super Saiyan form.
Well, I mean, who knows? Because, you know, I have to also reference Kale. I mean, once, like, in the Tournament of Power, I feel like through the bond that she had with Caulifla, she was able to snap out of her rage and thus control her full power. If we were to label her Berserk as as Super Saiyan full power, because she was basically, you know, Universe 6's Broly at this point in time. You know, like, if we're gonna call that full power, you know, she snapped out of it and she was in full control. So I mean, you know, Goku, I would feel like, you know, we might notice a slight change in muscle tonality if we're gonna go in that direction, but I really do think that it would be a lot more comparable to Kale's Super Saiyan full power, because that's the thing. I don't think that Vegeta nor Goku would have the issue that Broly had. See, Broly, his issue was he was born with this overwhelming power that he's had no control over, and Goku and Vegeta, they have been grinding it out for years and years, and obviously, you know, it took them to, you know, each their own breaking points just to tap into Super Saiyan, you know. And obviously what did it for Broly was seeing the death of his father, and that just made him completely snap even harder. And, you know, he was already, you know, not even in control of his own actions, you know, just because of all the raw power that he had. So, you know, it's debatable on both ends, and that's what makes it an interesting topic.
Very much so.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point in time, I'd have to, you know, pass it on to, you know, everyone that's listening in right here. Like, what do you guys think about this potential Super Saiyan Green, aka Super Saiyan full power, becoming more of a more utilized form amongst the other super characters that we have seen, you know, so far? You know, what if Caulifla can, you know, whip it out, or, you know, if Vegeta and Goku actually do end up attaining it once we get to that point in time? Who knows? So yeah, so with all that being said, Bader, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it, guys.
So much.
I'll have in my description below, so definitely, guys, give this man a follow. And of course, you guys know the drill. All the supporting links are as well in the description. And make sure to comment. I'll see you guys next time.